When it comes to meat, especially lunchbox staples and grilling favorites, cancer can be a tough bite to swallow.
Cooking foods produces some carcinogenic chemicals, and that's true for red meat and for processed meat.
An expert panel under the World Health Organization looked at more than 800 studies and classified processed meat as carcinogenic. That includes all meat preserved by smoking, curing, salting, or with chemicals to improve shelf life. Even if it's organic, evidence shows things like bacon, sausage, hot dogs, and sliced meat can cause colon cancer. Researchers say eating a 50-gram serving every day will increase your risk by 18%. That's roughly 5 to 6 slices of deli meat. There were also findings of unprocessed red meat. Beef, veal, pork, lamb, and goat are now listed as probably carcinogenic. Evidence shows associations to various cancers.
Any attack on your industry, it does bother us, and it is concerning.
Producers say pork and beef consumption is already on the decline. This news may be an added hit. The Canadian Cattlemen's Association says people shouldn't be alarmed.
Our recommendation is to follow the Government of Canada's Canada Food Guide. They recommend the appropriate amounts of red meat to have in your diet.
And researchers do say red meat has nutritional value.
In a lot of ways, it makes me happy.
And while some may be worried about meat sales, this butcher welcomes the news. He feels if people are buying less meat, they may pay more for better quality.
I would rather eat a very small quantity of the best tasting animal than eat large quantities of the worst tasting animals.
The Canadian Cancer Society says this confirms its recommendations of limiting your intake of red meat to 3 servings per week and avoiding processed meat as often as you can. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
So what does this all mean for your next trip to the grocery store? Dr. Danielle Martin joins us now. This is going to make headlines around the world.
Right.
But what does it really mean? Are we saying that these kind of processed foods and red meat are as bad as smoking?
No, we're not saying that they're as bad as smoking. What the researchers who reviewed the evidence said was that the quality of the evidence that we now have available, particularly about processed meat, is as good as the quality of the evidence that we had about smoking. They're not saying that eating a hot dog is bad for you as smoking a cigarette, but I do think that it is, we do need to pay attention to this because it is an important step forward in understanding one of the ways that we can all prevent cancer, and particularly in this case, colon cancer.
Well, your patients are going to be coming in to see you now and saying, hey, what do I do?
So, in family medicine, I often talk about sort of stoplight foods. So, green light, yellow light, red light. Green light are the ones that you can eat as much of as you want, like cooked spinach, really as much as you can tolerate.
Sure.
Yellow foods are the ones, exactly. Yellow foods are the ones that you can have, but you should have them occasionally, like candy. And then red light foods are the ones you should never eat, like uncooked rhubarb leaves, for example, which are poisonous. So I would now place processed meats like hamburgers that have filler in them, sausages, hot dogs, those bacon cured meats into that yellow light, high yellow light category. I'm not saying you can never go to a barbecue and eat them, but you should have them on an occasional basis, certainly not on a daily basis, and probably not even on a weekly basis.
So people are going to start thinking more about it before they eat those foods.
Exactly, and especially those meats that have been processed as opposed to the fresh ones.
All right. Dr. Martin, thank you very much.
Thank you.